Digimon. Story, Time Stranger. It's a good game. It started out great. I was like, hey, it feels good to play a Digimon story again. I really enjoyed Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. I never ended up playing Cyber Sleuth, the first one. This was next gen. I liked it obviously a lot more than... This is definitely more of their like action series. I think they really do call it an RPG. I liked it a lot more than the last one, Digimon Survivor. I only played that for like a couple hours, probably like a day. The only thing I didn't like in that was the grid combat. It was just... I loved the cutouts and the artwork and the art style and the graphics and this and that, but I couldn't stand the... They tried to throw in some combat in there and it was just terrible. And then there was Digimon World. Something. That game, wow, that didn't last long at all. But you know, you can only get so many Digimon games nowadays. Modern, accessible, easy. Digitally, physically, it's all kind of up in the air, but their series that's doing the best, I would say, is the Cyber Sleuth series. It's just kind of their main like flagship thing going. Because it's weird, because they're trying to do other stuff. There's Digimon, I don't remember how old those other games are. Survive is pretty recent. And I actually liked it too. Like, I just like Digimon. There doesn't have to be fighting. There doesn't have to be walking around doing this and that. I just enjoy it for what it is. And meeting new characters and really filling out the world, the universe, expanding on the games and the anime and the show. And Digimon's been busy. They're coming out with stuff fairly regularly. You got Digimon Try. There was like one movie, I forgot what it was called, a while ago. They seem to kind of spring up out of nowhere randomly. I've compared them to kind of Silent Hill in that way. Like, it just feels like out of nowhere. Oh, there's a new Digimon game. Oh, there's a new anime. Oh, there's something. So they're staying busy, but you know, them being the underdog, they're always going to be kind of really put on the back burner and a second thought, second priority. Because they're just never going to be able to... Pokemon's pumping out stuff all the time. So... But I'm just glad to see Digimon still doing something, staying busy and active and not dying. And I don't know if they get as much support as I'd like them to get, but you know, especially when you're only one person, you can only do so much. And like, hey, I'll watch your shows, I'll get your games, the whole deal, but that's about as far as I usually go. I'm not sitting there, you know, I love Digimon because I grew up with it, but I'm not gonna like kind of over exceed. I don't know, I feel like they could be putting out more. They definitely put out enough, and what they do put out, this is the thing, is that it's really good quality. Whether it's the games or whatever, this is like their next gen version of the game. But you know, and Try had such good artwork, and they're really bumping up the anime. Like, the newer this all gets, the better it looks, eye candy. One thing that's nice about the show, though, is that they're going back to where it all started. Matt, Tai, Izzy, Mimi, Sora, yada yada, Agumon. Everybody, right? The OGs. I don't know, I realize Digimon Story is trying to do its own thing. It's like, hey, we're gonna introduce other characters, but you still get those good original Digimon. Those aren't going away. What they did a really good job is they're coming out with new stuff, but the Digimon aged so well, because it's like, yeah, back in the day they're really gritty and raw and disturbing and creepy and strange and odd, all these things. But it's because of people like me and my age and all these things where you can still play as those Digimon. You can have those Digimon in these games, or they'll be on the cover of the games, like Agumon and Digimon Survive. The cover of this game, Devimon's in it, classic. They're still really, they're doing that, but my issue is I just don't care about these new characters. I really don't. At least this game was in English. Hacker's Memory, I played that in Japanese, and which I think what the problem is, they're just, everything they're doing is so passive. I think if they came out with a game right now, today, if it not this game, and they brought back Ty and Matt, the whole gang, I think that could do really well. I think we kind of need that, because I don't know if they're just trying to contrast it with the games and the show. Like, hey, we're doing great things with the show, but the games are just kind of flat. They're just kind of baseline. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to do more and more and more, but the issue is Digimon's been out for so many years that I can imagine throughout the years they've pumped out quite a bit of stuff. And most of those earlier games, if anything, I didn't play any of them, but they would have had Matt probably and Ty and all them. It's like they're just trying to move on from that too much. I don't know. This is why Digimon will always be the underdog, is because I just don't, there's something missing. They're not quite really getting the formula. Like, why does Pokemon do so well, other than, no offense, it is better? I think it's just made better. I mean, nowadays that's kind of arguable, but what have we had this whole time? Ash, Pikachu, characters that we know and love, that stay alive, that keep it going. Dragon Ball Z, Goku, he's still kicking. There's some people that are just really impatient, or, you know, like, oh, I'm sick of Ash, I'm sick of Goku, I want somebody new. But here's the deal, is when we get someone new, we just don't care. Resident Evil, Ethan Winters, like, eventually I did like him. But if they keep switching from one character to another, whether you yourself are just a playable character that doesn't talk, that's fine. But it's like they keep introducing all these new faces to us, and it's like, hey man, give me something I can familiarize myself with after all these years, being an adult now. Give us what we want. Give me what I want. Because it works. It's a safe option, granted, but it just works, as Todd Howard would say. Because the problem is, this game goes the direction it goes, it's whatever, it's this and that. I've seen it a million times. Oh, it's really epic. Oh, we have our little friends and Digimon, and we're doing, you know, they do the same thing over and over, just in different ways, which is fine, because that works. But for me, my strongest thing is what can make or break any franchise or license thing or IP or whatever it's the characters. Let me like these characters, let me bond with them, let me know who they are, let me hang out with them and chill with them as if they were real, and we can kind of spend this time together and get to know who these people are. And like, I spent under like 100 hours in this game, and I beat it. It took a while, but that's only because it was so like mentally exhausting, just trying to get it done and spending as much time as I can in it without getting overloaded with information, and it's confusing and complex and overwhelming, and all this, the system, the mechanics, the doing this and that, especially with the whole time travel, that's like a whole nother thing. But I just wish that I don't know, I'm sitting here waiting for something better, something bigger, and I just think they keep kind of doing that lowball thing where, like, hey, we'll give you something, but it's not gonna be, you know, woo. Silent Hill is doing that same thing. They're doing, I don't know if it's a Bandai Namco thing or that's something different. But it's just these really like kind of half-assed, half-baked. They're drip feeding us Digimon. They're drip feeding us Silent Hill. I mean, multiple other things, but they just don't seem to quite be on top of their game. And I'm disappointed because here I am sitting here like, oh my god, Digimon, yes, I'm excited. I could get on it somewhat early. I was a little late to the party, but because by the time I played Hacker's Memory, that's probably been out for who knows how long. This is their first like big next-gen title. But what it felt like to me was kind of like a tech demo or something. It was like, hey, this is what we can do, and we're Digimon, we're trying to get into next-gen space here. But it just felt so like lifeless and kind of like, oh, there's this kid and this pretty girl and this and that. It didn't really hit. It didn't have that oomph. The cutscenes were good. Yeah, I think from beginning to end, the beginning was good, the ending was epic. I think the whole middle of it was just not good. It was very fillery. It was very like, oh, we're jumping from one thing to another. There's no consistency, there's no persistence, there's no like constant absolute good solid concrete foundation. We're just kind of doing whatever. And to be fair, it is an anime game overall, and unfortunately this is kind of how a lot of anime games end up as SAO. We're kind of in this weird middle ground of like, you know, I don't think the budgets are quite there, or because of the fact that it is a license thing, which has always had a bad reputation. But there's a way you can separate the games from the show, and not so much like don't have Ty or Madden the games, but more like, you know, all the source materials there. You know, why are we doing things this way? They try to make each game so different, just as the examples Survive and World. Very, very different things going on, and they just can't seem to find like a balance somewhere, like moderation. Like, hey, let's find something that works, and what they're rolling with is obviously the Cyber Sleuth series. This is the third game that I know of now. There was only one Digimon Survive. I don't know how many Digimon World games there are. I imagine there's a few. But it's just like, and this one seemed very different. The only one I can compare it to was Hacker's Memory. Hacker's Memory had better music. Hacker's Memory was so good, and obviously I played this beforehand, so there's that to consider as a factor, but it was more thematic. All the blue, the cyberspace, the bad guys, the villains, the character, like our little group at the cafe, the characters, everything just tied together so well. And it was very, it knew what it was, it knew what it was doing, it has its own identity, it found its own lane. I think this game was kind of just like, hey, everything's really white and flashy and fun and exciting and entertaining, but it was just so kind of bare minimum, bare bones. Some of the music was good. I don't know if it's the same composer as, because I know the same composer for Hacker's Memory was also the Danganronpa guy. They really emphasized the music. The music was so loud it overwhelmed the voices. Like the recording voices were just so low. I don't know. But this is my problem with Hacker's Memory in this is this was supposed to be an improvement and it was just worse. Like, oh, now there's some kid here. I've always hated time travel, so that doesn't help. The girl, it was a very down-to-earth thing, and it worked. If it was an anime, I would have watched it, but that's part of the problem too, is I think I would have rather just watched this and play it, really. There was better quality of life-ish. I think they simplified things in a good way, because to be fair, Hacker's Memory was it was pretty wacky, but it was manageable, and there's a learning curve. Spend time with the game and really get to go through all their tabs and kind of just really try to understand what's going on. But I think that's the hardest part, is just playing the game. It's not even necessarily, the fighting or this and that. The combat was also different. It felt more definitely offensive. I think Hacker's Memory, my experience, it was definitely like, hey, and that's just how my playstyle with turn-based games. I want debuffs, I want buffs. Give me like one strong move, I'm happy, which is probably usually their main move. But this one was definitely it felt like I needed a beatdown thing going, like a beatdown deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. Like, you gotta hit these guys hard, because they also, now they have, I don't remember if it was in Hackers or not, but now they have these, some of these bosses, if they don't instantly, maybe not wipe your whole team, but damn near it, unless you know what you're doing, they can still kick your ass. I've gotten really close to some fights. Thankfully, I didn't have to start over any fights. I didn't get stuck necessarily. There's like one instance, but I didn't get stuck like fighting some boss for an hour, healing, reviving, being caught in this kind of death loop, doing bare minimum damage, maybe even the enemies healing. There's a lot of ways that these fights can go really wrong. It's because it's such a finite thing going that there's no wiggle room to kind of do, like, to make mistakes, or when it comes down to it, it's life or death. It's not even just a matter of whatever else, like a normal 3D fighting kind of like FPS or like a third person slasher or whatever. So one thing I'll give this game credit for, I think it had a much more forgiving combat thing, and there was a very obvious mechanic in it which really fed to that, because I think they learned from the other two games, that especially Hacker's Memory, that like it can be pretty bad. Another recent turn-based game I played was Like a Dragon, and it's more or less kind of the same situation there, is that I think if you're gonna do turn-based, you gotta do it right. It has to be done right, or else it's just a hot mess. And I want to say the only ones that have really gotten that down throughout the years is Final Fantasy, but look at the remake and Rebirth. I can't really give them credit there for Final Fantasy VII, but I don't know, the gameplay was good. Yeah, definitely um, some better gameplay, quality of life, mechanics. This game definitely had some pros and cons. It's not perfect. It may look nice. It's exciting. I know this game was kind of popping. Um, I don't know though. As a very casual Digimon fan who's only played one other game, let alone or one fully, like actually completed it and everything. I don't know. This one is just, it's really hard to. I want to like it for what it is, but just because you like something doesn't mean it's good. Like, it's one of those unfortunate things where I wish I could give it so much more praise, but it makes it tough because it's kind of always like there's some levels that were really just confusing, and I don't know, they just made some weird choices here. I just think Hacker's Memory was such a more smooth, flowy kind of experience and more immersive and engaging, and this game was just kind of like, you know, I just wanted to get through it. Halfway through, I was just mentally clocked out. I was like, dude, I want to play another game, a better game, a horror game, like, I wanted to play basically anything else other than this, but I wanted to see it through and complete it. But it was tough. If it wasn't for my tolerance and that drive and ambition, I don't know. It had its moments to shine, but it was like every other section was like maybe decent, but it just felt like it just kept going downhill. It's called Digimon Story, and the story itself is such like it was not good. I think the biggest mistake they made was the time travel. We're not even talking like the game itself and how it's played, and because everyone's gonna approach it kind of differently. Like, do you want to collect all the items? Do you want to collect all the Digimon? Do you want to just get through the main game? Do you want to do the side missions? Do you want to actually explore and pick up stuff and really kind of actually give a shit? And or do you just not care? Is it just another game to play? Everyone's gonna be in kind of a different boat, but I think I can see it very clearly from both sides that it just, I don't know, it needs some work. I'm just hoping that the next game they do make is just better. That's kind of the goal, is to keep making better games, not worse ones. Or not as good, but, or hell, make them as good, even. Because that's something that works, and that's been proven with other games, let alone Japanese games. And it's tough because I can't complain too much, because like on one hand it's Digimon, on the other hand it's like, it's just not a good game in of itself. Basically, Hacker's Memory had better music, better story. I like that it was very in touch with what it was trying to portray, and it was just very straightforward, and there didn't even need to be an explanation. Hey, we're some hackers. We have this little hacker group at a cafe, internet cafe. It was just really cool. You felt like you were a part of something and doing something, and it just worked, but it was still very down to earth, and you weren't too going back and forth between Digimon and that's what makes Digimon good, is because it's so entwined with the real world and technology, and it really emphasized on that whole side of things. Hence the hackers thing and memories and whatever. But this one was just like time travel, gods. It just got really weird. It got out of hand. I think this is where Digimon was meant to go, because like in a way this is good, because they're not down here anymore. They're trying to shoot for the stars. So you gotta kind of look at that in a positive way a little bit, because like, I don't know, this is just something that should have been so much cooler and really made that impact in that delivery. like, oh, this is like the top dog stuff. Like, we're really getting into these really much more big, epic, massive scale of what Digimon can do, and kind of that upper echelon caliber of what they have to offer. Pokemon did the same thing. Eventually, they got to Arceus and like all these kind of godlike Pokemon. But that, I think that was part of their downfall too, is they were just a little overly ambitious, kind of like Cyberpunk. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, I appreciate what you guys are doing, but let's maybe simmer down a bit, take a breath, take a break. I mean, look at kind of what's happening. It was just kind of too much. But other than that, there was a lot of eye candy. There was a lot of cutscenes. They were really generous with that. Great artwork, great environments. It's a very pleasing game. It's very, I don't think it came quite together as Hacker's Memory games they've done before, but it's a game, and it was, I think it, and they did build upon what they have done in the previous Cyber Sleuth games. You know, getting the Digimon I wanted was cool. That was probably the only saving grace. There was a lot of good voice actors. I heard a lot of familiar voices from other games and animes, especially English dub, obviously. It was nice that there was English. I think they really stepped it up a notch. But it's one of those things where everything they did well, there's a catch, there's a drawback. The things that, and this is usually how it goes. In Hacker's Memory, they did everything great in that Digimon story. Time Stranger didn't. Vice versa. So it's kind of one of those balancing acts where they almost nailed it. It's almost perfect, but this game is so average to me. It's so even below average, I'd say, because where it needed to hit, where it needed to really do something for me, it just didn't. And then where I didn't need it to do anything, that's where it did do those things. So it's kind of a shame. But it wasn't all bad. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I don't like it, but I don't dislike it. It's just kind of, it exists and it's a thing, and that's cool. And but yeah, I definitely was disappointed. But to be fair, I don't really know what I was expecting either. It's hard to not look back on Hacker's Memory and like, hey, that was a pretty good game, man. I got attached. It was one of the it just really spoke to me, and there's like a connection there, a spiritual thing, something. There was definitely something working there, whether it's easy to describe that or not. And in this game, it just it's kind of like time, dude. It like stood still almost, like not in a good way, or it went too fast or it went too slow. I just couldn't really tell half the time. Granted, by the end of it, I was like, hey, this was cool. Like, we started off so simple and basic and easy, and clearly we're in this whole other like thing now. It really escalated the pacing. But I think it just really dipped kind of in the middle, and I just really didn't care for the whole. But I just, like, I even kind of want to replay it again, low-key, because I somewhat have a couple reasons to do that, but man, do I want to go through all that again? Not really. But But the beginning made such a good impression, and I just don't know what happened. Like somewhere along the way, it just kind of lost its flavor, and it was like eating juicy fruit. Like, oh, this is so good. Oh. I don't think it needed to be as long as it did. I don't think it needed to drag on as long as it did. You definitely get your hours out of it. It was about the same amount of time I put in Hacker's Memory. But you're spending half the time in the menus, like trying to, you know, digivolve and... I don't know, it was stressful. It was kind of... It just felt like a chore to play. It was kind of... You know, and especially the turn-based thing, as much as I hate to say it, it does get kind of old after a while when it's just, you know, constant. I think they could have explained some things more, and there were tutorials, and I don't know, it's just like a constant guessing game, like trial and error. Like, if I digivolve, can I rank up? Can I get this Digimon? If I do these things, how else can I make that happen? How long is it gonna take? They really... Everything just felt so kind of just all over the place. You know, it's like I was a mechanic and I'm looking for tools and I can't find my tools where I expect them to be, and... Another downside is the DLC. There's so much... I kind of wish I did get at least the deluxe or premium or whatever, but holy. One bad thing is they put an XP dungeon behind a paywall, so you have to actually pay for it. And that would have been the easiest way to, like, hey, let's say you get a Mega Evolution. And you want to go some more specific things, like you want to go to level up those guys. There's really not a great place to grind and go do that. Like, it's the locations are, and Hacker's Memory had the same issue. It's just you're kind of it's really easy to get lost. The maps weren't good. You know, I think the DLC, if they put cosmetics only behind it, maybe, but they not only locked out additional episodes, which I think is fair, because, like, it's more content, I get it. I don't know if they labeled it as episodes, but more stuff to play, whatever. And the music, there was really good music from supposedly like other series, and I just wanted the music from Cyber Sleuth because there's one particular song that I love. I love it. And it's actually in one of the song packs, but I was like, well, I mean, maybe if it's on sale, or now that I pretty much beat the game unless I play it again. Here's the thing, I want to come back to it because the DLC, like when and if I even bother to get that, and then I can play the game over again, I can do it quicker, I can do things I didn't quite get to do in that first run. Yeah, I don't know, I think the DLC, it was expensive too, like, or base price, holy. But I don't want all those song packs, I don't want all those costumes. The costumes, I think, the DLC is probably the only thing I'm gonna, like, somewhat give away, because I obviously try to keep a lot of it for interpretation, but like, even the costumes, you can dress as Ty and Matt and TK and Izzy. I'm just like, oh god, dude. That's a real slap in the face, because you can literally make your characters look like the original Digidestin, and it's just like, ugh, just don't. Don't even go there, because I appreciate this sentiment, but it's like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of other little tidbits, but that's, I don't know, it's kind of whatever. Like, I wasn't planning on 100%ing it or getting platinum or anything, so I don't really need to even bother looking at those things, the micro focus details. Yeah, I don't know. I think giving it below average is kind of harsh, because like there definitely were good things, and I don't want to push those aside too much and make it more about the negative, but it's so tough when you kind of have like a list going and you're like, well, these are some good things here, but there's so many bad things too, and that's what, if it was more maybe equaled out or more or less than the other, it just kind of fell a little to the wayside a bit. But my philosophy is, I like Digimon, I'm gonna play it regardless, I'm gonna try it. And that's pretty much it. Whether I love it or not at the end of it, at the end of the day, is another story, but it was definitely worth the playthrough and worth trying, and I don't completely regret it, so there's that. But yeah. Digimon, digital monsters.